but 2 out laps with Josh Price, the black race suit, the bright pink helmet, leading them around. You heard from him just there if you're watching online at rgmmcmedia.com on our TV channel, broadcasting live online throughout the course of the weekend. You won't have heard it, I don't think, over the speakers if you're here at the circuit, but Josh talking to us yesterday, and he's the driver that we just heard from. He's on pole position, but Thomas Preining was very nearly as quick as him yesterday, just missing out by an absolute fraction. But he heads the second group, so he's on the second row of the grid. And Philip Rawson and Jay Nijar, who'll know this circuit well, there on the second row. Be fascinated to see how Jack Bartholomew, who was quick enough to be at the sharp end of the grid, will do from the back of the grid here. Pretty quick formation laps these are turning out to be. The warm-up lap onto the formation lap. They're almost at full race speed as they try and generate some heat into the tyres in this race. 6-lap race, so they want to make sure that the karts are on the money, the brakes are warmed up, the tyres are warmed up as they get to that first corner. That's what they're doing now, and it'll only be the last third of the lap where Josh Price will back them up now. In fact, he starts to back off now halfway around the lap and bunch them up. So number 27 is Josh Price on pole position. Number 12 is Tommy Preining, the Austrian. They're the front row drivers. Philip Rawson is number 95. Jay Nijar is number 17 on row 2. Jack McCarthy is 44. And Juan Manuel Correa is 86. That's the top 6 on the grid. There you can see to the right of your picture, weaving around there, that's the kart of Tommy Preining there in second place. Josh Price just bunching them up. And right at the back of the field there, the red and white suit, the green helmet, Jack Bartholomew just adjusting his carburettor and the fuel run into his 125cc Rotax Max engine. Right, this 6-lap race, this first heat for juniors about to get underway then. They're just cruising through turn 13. You're looking at turn 14 if you're watching online. I'll come through there. Ready for the side-by-side rolling start there with the green cart, the pink helmet, the black suit is Josh Price. Let's see if he gets the good start here. Away they go first time, and it is a good start for him. It also is a good start for Philip Rawson, who's gone straight into second place. And for the first time today, everybody squeezes through the first corner unscathed. Jack Bartholomew, you can see, picking up 2 or 3 places already at the back of the field as he tries to make his way through very early on and progress up the order. So Philip Rawson moving into second place, then behind Josh Price. He's onto the tail of him now. Tommy Preining is third. Down in fourth place is Jay Nijar. They're all bunching up in second place, and Tommy Preining's going to come out on top. So Tommy Preining through the hairpin, getting back into second place ahead of Rawson. Then it's Nijar in fourth place. Then it's Bartholomew in fifth position. Juan Manuel Correa, the blue race suit, in sixth position, and side by side again in the battle for second place. There's contact further down the order. 2 karts coming off at the first hairpin from near the back of the field. They just about get going again. Omar Ismail, number 20, is one of the 2 unfortunate victims there. The other one is 87, Denis Mavlonov. So they were both from the middle of the pack coming through the final turn, and it's an almighty lead at the end of the first lap for Josh Price. He goes through more than a second clear. Tight battle for second place. Philip Rawson back into second place at the start of lap 2 on the way into turn 1, gets back ahead of Tommy Preining. Tommy now coming under fire from Jay Nijar. So Josh Price at the end of the first lap, Ken, leading by 1.4 seconds.
Yes, aided by some not over clever driving by the guys immediately behind. I have to say, incidental contact is part of karting. And Chris, we've got fourth to third, which is Jay Nijar going up past Tommy Preining, I do believe. And I was just going to say, incidental contact, part of karting, but yeah, the driving standards flag's coming out. I will say no more other than I'm not surprised to see the driving standards flag coming out. So you can read into that what you will. But hey, Josh Price, 1.4 seconds to the good and building on it, Chris.
Jack Bartholomew picked up 6 places on that first lap, so he's up to 17th at the start of lap number 2. The 2 karts that were involved in the incident further around the lap are running nose to tail. The nose to tail of the 3rd and 4th place karts with Jack Bartholomew right on the tail now of Jay Nijar. They come under the bridge. You can see them flashing through there. And 3rd and 4th are the karts to watch here. Jay Nijar, is he going to come under attack on the way into turn 4? No, he's not. He's late enough on the brakes there. So Nijar hanging on to 3rd place. Bartholomew still there in 4th. Just drops back a fraction. In 5th place now you've got Tommy Preining, who dropped back. And in 6th place we've still got Correa doing a good job, although Hoffer, number 39, is not too far back behind him. Jack Bartholomew picked up 2 more places on that lap, so he's now up to 15th place in the number 40 car. Pretty good start to proceedings. It's not the sort of circuit where you can just throw it around the outside at the first corner and pick up 6 or 7 places at turn 1. You can't do that here. You can at some other circuits. Kim Bolton in the UK is one that springs to mind, where if you've got a grid at the back of the field, you can just throw it around the outside if you're brave enough and pick up loads of places at the start, but not so here. So I think that progress is pretty much on par. Good effort by Jack Bartholomew. Second, third and fourth come through within half a second of each other. Rawson, Najjar and McCarthy. Tommy Prining still can't get ahead of them. He's on the tail of them in 5th place, but he can't squeeze back through. So Josh Price leads. His gap has come down a bit, his advantage. It's only 1.189 seconds at the start of that lap over Rawson. But Ken, we're already halfway into the race.
Yeah, these 6-lap sprints, as we said at the top, don't really give you much chance to rectify a bad mistake. Philip Rawson in 2nd place, coming under a hint of pressure from Jay Najjar in 3rd, although Jay's not in a position to make a challenge just at the moment. Kart 98 going through is Hoffer. Now, Hoffer is Max Hoffer from Austria, driving that Birell for KMS. He's come through a little bit unnoticed throughout yesterday's qualifying and this morning, because when I say unnoticed, he's not a driver I know a lot about. Gaining another place as we went through. I think that was at the expense of Philip Hamprecht, who is well experienced at this level now. As Josh Price sees his lead, while still healthy, reduced to below a second at 0.9, and Philip Rawson's just done 59.00 against Josh Price's 59.22. So your 2nd place driver is closing up.
Didn't see what happened to Jack Bartholomew, but he lost some places on the previous lap, dropped all the way back down to 21st position, so he lost a half dozen places after his good efforts in the first 2 laps of the race. Now he's got to try and do it all again. The race leader, 9/10 of a second clear. Josh Price of Philip Rawson in 2nd. Here they come towards the right-hander at turn 10. That's the incident. That's the corner where there was that incident between Mark Litchfield and Ed Brand in the previous race. And they come round another couple of left-handers before the right-hander at turn 14, the final turn of this 1.4 kilometre long circuit. And has the gap come down a bit more? I think it has. Through they come. Yeah. Price, it's half the gap there on that lap, pretty much. So Rawson now just over half a second behind the race leader. But we're on to the final lap of the race. And coming into turn 3, you've still got Jay Najjar there. Tommy Prining has got back into 4th position now. So Tommy Prining back up to 4th ahead of Jack McCarthy as they go on to the final lap of the race. And Philip Hamprecht has got ahead of Carrera as well a couple of laps ago. So he's now up into the top 6.
And Juan Manuel Carrera could well lose that 7th place, because that's Max Hofer, who we mentioned moments ago in kart number 98, putting pressure on. Let me just stick with those two because we've mentioned it well. Juan Manuel Carrera just closing the door. Chris, you've seen something.
Yeah, swapping again at the first hairpin with McCarthy and Prining. So 4th place swaps around again. Prining just tried to get him back. But for the time being, it looks like Tommy's going to have to settle for 5th place, Ken.
Well, Tommy Prining will probably reflect on that contact with Philip Rawson early on, but hey, it's just part of. Here's the checkered flag in the hands of Thomas Liner, and there's the race victory for kart number 27, Josh Price. Philip Rawson comes home in 2nd place, Jay Najjar 3rd, Jack McCarthy 4th. Getting that move on Tommy Prining halfway round the last lap. Thomas Prining finishing 5th. Philip Hamprecht 6th. Juan Manuel Correa spilling places late in the race to finish 7th. Max Hofer 8th. Yuri Vips in 9th place. And a good drive on his Rotax Euro Challenge debut by Sandy Mitchell from Scotland up into the top 10 at number 10.
Yeah, good effort that. Josh Price, it was all about the start of the race. He had a blinding first lap. He got was it a 1.3 second lead at the end of lap number 1. They whittled it away. Rawson caught, but he had enough in hand. And even though there was only a 1/10 of a second or so between them at the flag, Josh Price didn't quite look like he was going to lose that one, did he, after the brilliant start he made? So Josh Price takes the first win of the day in the junior category. Philip Rawson, a strong drive to 2nd position. And then Jay Najjar and Jack McCarthy, 3rd and 4th. Jack McCarthy and Tommy Prining swapped around a couple of times in the last 2 laps for 4th place, but McCarthy came out on top. So Tommy Prining will be slightly disappointed with that. From 2nd on the grid, he finishes in 5th place. Philip Hamprecht, though, with a good drive through from the 4th row of the grid to complete the top 6. Juan Manuel Correa was 7th. Max Hofer, the Austrian driver, was in 8th place. 9th place was Yuri Vips, the Estonian. Sandy Mitchell, 10th. And Gianfranco Mazzaferro, Rokas Bakiuska, 11th and 12th. Finley Hutchinson in 13th place. 14th, De Rouge, Peroni, 15th, Bogdanov, Luki, Martin, Lambert, and Bartholomew ending out the top 20. So Jack Bartholomew, good first 2 laps, then something happened, didn't see what, but it pushed him all the way back down pretty much to where he started. And so his frustrations continue. Only a 20th place finish there for the driver, who was one of the quickest drivers in qualifying yesterday and was quick enough to get pole position and the previous round in Italy. So that's the results confirmed, the provisional results, of course, confirmed for the first junior race, race number 4 of the weekend, coming up in a few minutes' time. And that, again, is going to be for juniors, another 6-lap race. After that, we've got 2 more heats for the seniors before our lunch break, with the seniors having close to 50 entrants this weekend. They have a lot of races to squeeze in. So the next race for juniors is going to get underway, another 6-lap race in a few minutes' time at 11:10. At 11:30 then we're going to have DD2, 11:50 DD2 heat number 2. So we've got the DD2s to come, then the seniors to come at 12:10 and 12:30. So 8 races in the morning session. We've had 3. Race number 4 coming up in a few minutes' time here at PFI for round 3 of the Rotax Euro Challenge. The first time that the challenge has been to the UK for a number of years, and the first time to this circuit, I think, for 7 years. RGMMC, the Roland Guidadil and the team, Lynn, James, the rest of the team, celebrating last night. This is the 10th season that the championship has been run for. It started back in 2004, and last night they held and invited everybody to a hog roast, a barbecue, had a live band out in the paddock. The beer was flowing and a good atmosphere. Nigel Edwards, the clerk of the course, was trying to get everybody up dancing. He didn't quite succeed. And so we had Roland up on stage. I think Nigel went up on stage and did a bit of air guitar at some point. So a good time was had by all, and a nice gesture for the organisers to invite everybody along to celebrate the 10th anniversary. It was 2004, so technically it's 9 years, but it's the 10th season, of course, of the championship, which has gone from strength to strength. And as Ken and I have said a couple of times, it's called the Euro Challenge, but really it feels like a World Series, doesn't it, with the drivers that we have from all continents. In fact, Ken said yesterday, the only continent that's not represented is Antarctica, and that's because they don't have anybody living there, really, and certainly no kart tracks or kart drivers. But we have drivers from Asia, Chinese drivers, Japanese drivers, have had Malaysian drivers in the past. The Americas are represented, the Canada, USA, Mexican driver here this weekend. South African drivers have been racing. From the West Indies, we've got Thomas Issa, the Jamaican driver from that part of the world. Some Australian drivers, New Zealanders have raced in the past as well. Of course, lots of drivers from right across Europe, not just Western Europe these days, but a lot of drivers, increasingly so, coming from Estonia, Lithuania, the eastern side of Europe. So the whole world really represented here.
10th season of Rotax Max Racing in Russia. And of course, we quietly notice them come in. They don't come in as winners, but more and more Russian drivers creeping in. Just having a look, kart 97, which was Mikhail Bogdanov, finishing 16th in that race after a bit of an incident. Denis Mavlanov, and all of these youngsters coming through. And I've said before, keep an eye on that nation for the next decade. They're going to be strong in motorsport, I'm predicting.
They've got the numbers, haven't they?
Yes.
Sure. So it's certainly starting to kick on now. Vitaly Petrov, of course, the Russian driver, not in Formula 1 this season, but had been in Formula 1 for a couple of years, making a breakthrough for Russia. Pretty sure there'll be a Russian Grand Prix at some point in the future as well. We've been talking about that for a while. So it's certainly coming to the fore in that part of the world, as Ken says. Right, the karts will be coming out shortly for the next race in just over 5 minutes' time. Again, it's going to be for juniors. This time it's groups C versus D. And in amongst that, we're going to have some very quick drivers from yesterday. We're going to have David Widder on pole position, the British driver in kart number 34. David, who has come up from top-level UK racing in the Minimax category. And we're also going to have Connor Hall on the front row of the grid in kart 22. Now, Connor is the driver, as I said earlier, who leads the championship.